kids, good morning. It's a nice day. I'm happy to see you. What do you say if we sing a good morning song? Let's sing the good morning song that we learned 2 weeks ago. Okay, so we're going to sing this good morning song. Remember?
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Good morning. Good morning. Hello and how are you? Early in the morning, I say good morning. Hello and how are you? Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hello and how are you? Early in the morning, I say good morning. Hello and how are you?
Very good.
In the morning, I clap my hands. In the morning, I do my dance. In the morning, I shout hooray. This is gonna be a wonderful day. Good morning. Good morning. Hello and how are you? Early in the morning, I say good morning. Hello and how are you?
Now it's your turn.
Good morning. Good morning. Hello and how are you? Early in the morning, I say good morning. Hello and how are you? In the morning, I clap my hands. In the morning, I do my dance. In the morning, I shout hooray. This is gonna be a wonderful day. Good morning. Good morning. Hello and how are you? Early in the morning, I say good morning. Hello and
Part of our unit of inquiry, Las Maravillas del Día y la Noche, the wonders of the day and the night, we're going to learn what is a shadow and how the shadows form. Have you wondered that? How the shadows form? When you're walking down the street and you see your shadow behind you and it follows you, where it comes from? So we're going to watch this video about my shadow. It's a nice video that tells us that the shadow goes wherever we go. Day or night. We can have shadows at night too. So let's watch this video.
my shadow, my shadow, my shadow, my shadow. Everything I do, my shadow does too. My shadow can jump, my shadow can kick, my shadow can catch a ball. And everywhere I go, it can go with me. It can even catch me when I fall. My shadow and me, my shadow and me, my shadow is my longtime friend. We're together every day, my shadow and me, my shadow is my longtime friend. My shadow, my shadow, my shadow, my shadow. Everything I do, my shadow does too. My shadow and me, my shadow and me, my shadow is my longtime friend. We're together every day, my shadow and me, my shadow is my longtime friend.
Okay, so now I'm going to explain you how the shadows form and why they form. So for that we need to learn about light. Okay, so I'm going to move this here so you can see it, so you can see better. Okay, and we're going to see here on the screen, and I'm going to explain you how the shadows form and why. So the first one, this is a dark room. Can you see something in a complete dark room? Yes or no? What do you think? Not really, right? The reason is that you need light to see objects. So let's put some light in this room and let's see what happens. Are we now able to see objects in the room? Yes. The reason is that now light reaches us and the objects. Light helps us see the objects. So here the light comes from this tube light. There are different sources of light. I know you know some, for example, the sun, a tube light or a light bulb, and a torch or a flashlight. They are called luminous objects. Okay, so can we see the objects outside the window? Look, there's a window. Can you see the objects outside the window? No, we can't. You're right. Why we can't see the objects outside the window? Because the light from outside the window does not reach us. And why is that? Yes, because of the shutters block the light. We cannot see through these shutters because they are an opaque object. You know what is an opaque object? Almost everything around us is opaque. The wood, the metal sheets, colored plastics. There's a lot of things that are opaque. For example, this marker is opaque. We cannot see through it. Okay, light doesn't come through it. And that's why we cannot see through this object. But what happened if we open the shutters? Look, we opened the shutters. Now what happened? Can you see something new? Yes, very good. We see the surroundings through the glass, and I am sure you know why. Yes, what happens here is that we have a clear glass which allows light pass through it, and it allows to see through it clearly. These objects are called transparent objects because they let the light go through it. So we have an opaque object. We cannot see through it. If we put it in front of us, we cannot see through it. For example, my hands, they are opaque. Everybody, put your hands in front of you. Okay. Can you see the screen through your hands? No. But if, for example, you get a glass or something transparent, for example, I have a glass here, for example, that is transparent. I can see through the glass the screen because light can pass through this object. So now let's see this milky glass here in this shelf. Can you see what is inside the shelf? Yes, we cannot see the things clearly, but we can partially see what is inside. What do you think is inside this shelf through the milky glass? Very good, books. This is because with milky glass, light passes partially, not everything, but a little bit of light. For example, like this object, this is a plastic object that is like milky glass, is not transparent, but is a little bit, and I can see some of the things through it because light can pass partially, a little. Okay, so now, sorry, I'm going to put this again back here. The difference between the objects like clear glass and the objects like milky glass is that the objects like clear glass are called transparent objects. Transparent. They let the light go through it. And the translucent objects like milky glass, they are called translucent objects, sorry, because they let the light passes partially. So I want to think about some examples of transparent objects that you can think. Okay, there's clean water. It's a transparent object and we can see through it. Plastic bottle, yes, a transparent plastic bottle. And air. Air is transparent too, so they let us see through it. And what about the translucent objects? What do you think? There's many, but we have butter paper or plastic sheet. A plastic sheet is a translucent object. Look, I have one here. This is plastic, but it's translucent. It lets some light passes through it, but not a lot, so I cannot see through it clearly. Okay? So now I'm going to explain you how the transparent, the translucent, and the opaque objects work to make or not a shadow. Okay guys, so for you to understand this better and explain it clearly, I'm going to do an experiment and I'm going to show you. So I need three objects. I need an opaque object, a translucent object, and a transparent object. So I have the first one is an opaque. It's a dinosaur toy. It's opaque because it doesn't let the light go through it. Okay, that's the first object. The next one is a translucent object. This translucent cup is a plastic cup that let the light goes through it just slightly. And the last one is a transparent object, is the lenses of my glasses. Just the lenses, just this part of the glasses is transparent. So we are going to see how the shadows form with these three objects, okay? Okay, so now I have my light and I'm going to show you how it works. So, for example, with the transparent object, like my glasses, look what happens. The light goes through it, so there's not a shadow, but the light cannot pass through the opaque object, like the frame. Look, this frame is an opaque object. Light cannot go through it, so it makes a shadow. You see the shadow of my glasses? Very good. Now let's see what happens with a translucent object. Look what happens. It let the light pass a little bit. The light passes a little bit. So we can see a little bit of a shadow, but there's some places where the transparent parts don't make a shadow. And now we're going to see what happens with an opaque object. Look, because light cannot go through it, but around the object, it makes a shadow here. So that's how shadow, to see how the shadow forms. Okay, so now we are going to take our pencil and we are going to trace the shadow of our toy. I'm going to trace this T-Rex. You have to be very careful, but you can take your time while drawing. There's not a rush. And we're going to go all around forming our shadow. Okay? And then you can complete the shadow if you want. And this is my shadow of my T-Rex. Let's see what happens with another animal. Let's see with this one. Okay, we're going to do the same. We're going to trace the shadow of this dinosaur. Okay, then we can complete the shape if you want, and you can draw and color your drawings. If you don't have animals, don't worry. Look, if you put your hand, you can trace also your hand, or you can trace different animals. Look, this one. What about this one? There's this. You can you can ask your mom, your dad to hold another object and you can draw it. They have to be still, otherwise we cannot draw the shape. And there you have your drawing. Then you can make the eye and use some colors to draw. And that's how we form shapes. I hope you had fun making your shape with your toys. I hope you learned a lot today about the shadows and the light, and I can't wait to see your drawings with your toys in your shadows. Remember, if you don't have toys, you can use another object. So send me a picture or a video of your shadows. Bye and see you tomorrow.